You're listening to the Cool Audio Podcast, your escape into the world of stories, sounds, and imagination. Whether you're driving, chilling at home, or just need a moment to unplug, we've got a story just for you. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. Yes, young madam, it's like this. There's this person in the family, Thomas's newlywed wife, that is, James's daughter-in-law, seems to be suspicious of me. She's been monitoring me. I found out one day while I was eating. I don't know how much she knows, but I don't think she's mentioned this to anyone. Chloe listened quietly. Young madam, I'm sorry. I didn't do my job that well, James said. Then he felt a heavy punch on his chest, as if his ribs were shattering. Chloe rubbed her fist and said, If you keep being such a piece of shit, you're going to go meet the real James. Young madam, please don't. I won't make you disappointed, James begged on the floor while withstanding the immense amount of pain. He had to wipe off the blood on the corner of his mouth. No one ever had much expectation for you. Master told you to come here to do an experiment to see if you could pass as the real James and how long you could live as him. I told the master that it could work for at least 1 year. However, it's not even been 2 months and you already caused trouble. Are you making me lose face? No, I don't dare to do that. Useless piece of Chloe glared at James, her eyes filled with disgust. Young madam, please spare my life. Are you hungry? I'll make food. You have food here? Chloe seemed to be interested in food as she licked her lips. Ever since she came back, she didn't really get anything good to eat. The idiots at South Hill Manor forced her to eat food she didn't like. The food tasted dull like wax. She didn't even want to swallow it. When James mentioned there was food here, her mood brightened. Yes, I'll go prepare right now. James immediately got up and skittled towards the fridge. He took out a bag of blood from the bottom of the shelf and carefully poured it into a cup for Chloe to drink. He had secretly and cautiously stored this because he was afraid his family would find it. He put the blood in the bottom shelf of the fridge and piled it up with many frozen foods so that no one would discover this. Chloe took over the cold red liquid and took a sip and smashed it onto the floor. She was incredibly strong and her instant explosive power was incredible. With one hand, she grabbed onto James's neck, raising him up into the air. Young madam, please spare my life. Please. You piece of what did you make me drink? The texture of the drink disgusted her. It was like making someone who was used to drinking good whiskey drink a cup of cheap mixed alcohol. Young madam, that indeed is blood. I wouldn't dare to deceive you. James felt that he was going to suffocate, but still tried his best to explain. What blood? Chloe glared at James with an icy, vicious look, the look of a terrifying beast. It's the blood of a Samoyed dog, he said. Chloe immediately tossed him onto the floor. James didn't dare stay lying for a second. Instead, he dragged his wounded body and begged for mercy. No wonder it's so disgusting. 002, you have fallen lower and lower. You have to drink blood to maintain that pitiful left of yours? Young madam, this city is very safe. There's a lot of police, so I'm afraid. I'm afraid that my disguise would be exposed. I didn't have a choice. I'll give you 20 minutes. I want fresh human blood, now. Otherwise, I'll squeeze your head till it explodes, Chloe demanded, disregarding James's explanation. Half an hour later, Chloe came out of the Sky Blessing Court and got on a black Rolls-Royce. She smirked with satisfaction when she was in the car. Young madam, where are we heading towards now? To Southside Recuperation Center. Okay, sit tight. Chloe smiled and glanced out the window. In her mind, she thought, Chloe, everything you have is mine now. Back at Sky Blessing Court, James was by Sandra's side when she woke up. James, where's Chloe? Chloe left. She told me to take good care of you. Why is my daughter's life so hard? James, why did our grandchild just die like that? It was all going so smoothly. Sandra now felt the pain in her chest due to the sadness and started to cry. There's nothing we could do about it. Chloe was afraid you would be too sad, so she didn't stay for that long. You should think for her. She must be sad. After all, it's her child. We shouldn't rub salt on her wound, right? But I can't accept it. It's all too sudden. My grandson? Stop crying! You're annoying me! James suddenly shouted. James! Sandra was shocked because James was very gentle with her all these years, and no matter how irrational she was, he would still be tolerant of her. He viewed Chloe as her own child, but now his face was cold. It seemed like she didn't know him anymore. Everyone is saddened by this, but you can't cry all the time. It hurts me too, but I'm not crying. So when Thomas and Stella come home, are we going to cuddle together and cry? Sandra couldn't find fault in her husband's logic, but his attitude was unexpected. Just then, someone pressed the doorbell. Sandra rubbed off her tears and went to open the door. Madam Sandra, sorry to interrupt, but have you noticed my son, Luo Luo, playing around your area? Luo Luo? No, I haven't seen him. Sandra remembered the 7-year-old boy from next door. He was very naughty but well-mannered. Every time he saw her, he would greet her and say, "Hello, Grandma Sandra." Thomas also took him to the neighborhood field and played soccer with him. I don't know where this child went. He took his soccer ball with him to play. I looked around the whole neighborhood, but he's nowhere to be seen. Did he go home? Sandra asked. That's not possible. There's people at home. If he did go home, someone would call me. What should I do? His parents are on a trip in Europe and are coming home soon. There's only me and his grandpa at home. What should we do if something bad happened to him? Don't worry. He's going to be all right. Keep looking. Our neighborhood's security is great. He couldn't have been lost. Also, all the neighbors know Luo Luo. Yeah, I'll keep looking. If you guys see him, please send him home. Thanks. For sure. Sandra closed the door and turned around. To her surprise, James was no longer in the living room now. A lost child would normally not be a big problem, but if he was actually missing, then that would be huge trouble. Sandra suddenly felt that the neighborhood was no longer safe. Cats and dogs were missing. Later, they were discovered to be tortured to death. Everyone around was scared. Those who loved their dogs no longer dared to walk their dogs around. Justin and Anne woke up at noon and drove to Imperial Star Entertainment for work. As soon as they got out of the car, they were surrounded by reporters. President Cooper, we heard you're in a new romantic relationship? President Cooper, can you tell us a bit about the mysterious lady that you went home with last night? President Cooper, have you broken up with the female artist from your company, Melody? Will Melody sign back with Imperial Star? President Cooper, can you let us know if you're going to get married soon? President Cooper, is that mysterious lady a daughter of a rich man or an artist with your company? Can you tell us? Rumor has it that the lady was Miss Melody, who's the runner-up of Dance of a Century. What are your thoughts on this, President Cooper? I heard Miss Melody is from Capital City. Is she the daughter of a general from Capital City? The questions asked by the reporters were getting more and more bizarre. He had intentionally sought out a girl and flirted with her, without hiding at all. The reporters even took pictures of him and the girl together. But why were they still linking this to Melody? Why did she need to be involved in this at all? Justin simply said the following to explain the situation. It's not Melody. I don't like dating the female artists that work for me. Thank you everyone for your attention on me. Justin then walked straight into the company without another word. Those people were like flies trying to go in with him to get news, but Anne immediately blocked them at the entrance of the company. Sorry everyone. This is President Cooper's private affairs, so please give him some personal space. Please continue to support our artists and work. Thank you. Since Anne had worked for Justin for many years now, so responding to reporters was a piece of cake for him. Justin got into his office and started to tackle his loads of work. Then Yaru dressed up prettily, wearing a new release flowery clothing from an expensive brand. Her makeup was delicate. Justin didn't know if it was intentional or not, but how she looked and dressed was very similar to Kira. Maybe Yaru knew that Kira meant something to Justin, so she was being cunning. When she came over, Anne blocked her at the door. I want to see President Cooper, she said condescendingly to Anne, showing no respect. Do you have an appointment? Anne asked. No. Please leave then. President Cooper is busy. I have something important to say to President Cooper. It won't take up much of his time. He doesn't have time for that either. Why don't you have your manager book an appointment with him later? You're just a dumb bodyguard. How can you have so much ego? You're just President Cooper's dog, Yaru screamed after she got angry because Anne blocked her. Even if I'm just a dog, I'm a responsible one. Miss Yaru, are you done? If you're done yelling, then please leave. Yaru didn't know what else she could do. She turned around and was walking away. However, she soon disregarded her public image and shouted, "President Cooper, I have something important to tell you. Please let me in. I beg you." Yaru's voice was so loud that you could hear her from a few floors away, and was rather unhappy with this. He didn't understand what this woman wanted now. Did she not care that she was destroying her image? If she was rejected by someone, she would make a huge scene. In the end, Justin was interrupted and asked, "What's happening outside?" "President Cooper, Yaru wants to see you." "Yaru?" Justin said with surprise. He seemed to have forgotten about her. "President Cooper, my cousin is Miss Kira's manager." Yaru immediately tried to persuade Justin to talk to her using personal relationships. "Let her in," Justin said calmly. "Look, President Cooper already said let me in, right? Why don't you get out of my way? Good dogs don't block people's way," Yaru said proudly with a sharp glare at Anne. Anne didn't say anything. After all, he had worked for Justin for many years and had seen all sorts of crazy women, and didn't know if Yaru intentionally or unintentionally twisted her ass as she walked. She also looked up tall and stood up straight, with her enormous chest bouncing up and down as she walked, as if she was a proud peacock. However, once she entered Justin's office, the flair evaporated. "President Cooper," she said in a sweet, tender voice. "What?" "I'll give you 3 minutes. Now go." Justin glanced at his watch, then looked down at the financial records he was perusing. "President Cooper, I heard our company sponsored a satellite TV reality show, a cooking one." "So?" Justin said without looking up. "I'm great at cooking. I've been learning from my mom since I was a little girl, and I'm very talented. President Cooper, I just wanted to recommend myself to you. Please let me go try. I won't let you down." Justin didn't speak. No one could tell what he was really thinking. When Yaru saw how Justin didn't respond, so she got more courageous. She walked closer and whispered, "President Cooper, as long as you agree to let me do this show, I'll do anything for you." Justin shivered slightly. Then he looked up from his documents and looked at this pathetic woman in front of him. "Like?" Justin raised a brow. "I can do whatever Melody did. I can even do the things Melody couldn't. I will serve you well, President Cooper." Yaru spoke the last sentence in a very soft tone. This wasn't anything a self-respecting woman would say. It looked utterly pathetic. However, Yaru didn't realize her tricks weren't working on Justin. Instead, she thought she was alluring and successfully seducing him. "Ahem, you said you can cook, right?" "Yes, President Cooper. What type of cuisine can you make?" "Everyday dishes." Yaru's plan was to get the job first. Once Justin agreed, she would spend a large amount of money for a chef to teach her how to cook. That was why when she lied, and she didn't feel scared at all, she thought her plan was perfect. However, Justin looked at Yaru with serious eyes and asked, "Then tell me, what is the first step when you cook minced meat with tofu?" She did not expect Justin to be so serious and test her. Yaru now looked concerned, but she was still strong-willed. "This dish isn't hard at all. When cooking, we should put vegetables in. When we cook this, we should first put the tofu in." "Ha ha," Justin grimaced. When Yaru saw how Justin was reacting, she immediately tried to renege on what she said. No, I didn't mean that. I was too nervous. We should put the meat first, then the tofu." Justin shook his head and said, "Didn't anyone tell you that when cooking you should put in oil first?" Yaru stood there dumbfounded. "I'll give you 10 seconds to get the F out of my sight, or else I don't ever want to see you again in my Imperial Star Entertainment." Yaru saw how mad her boss was, so she immediately turned and ran, because she was scared Justin was going to fire her. Did she work for nothing to get her position as leader of the trainees? Just when Yaru was running out, she bumped into Melody. Melody was going to see Justin to get reimbursed for last night's fees. She had gone straight to finance first, but finance asked for signed pages from President Cooper. That was why Melody in turn came to Justin's office with the receipts. To her surprise, she bumped into Yaru. "Melody, are you blind?" Melody rubbed her aching forehead and said confidently, "Just as blind as you are." Then she continued walking into Justin's office without waiting for Yaru to respond. Anne saw everything on the side. He almost couldn't resist laughing out loud. "Miss Yaru, are you all right? Is the fake nose bridge still straight?" Anne continued to mock her. "You're the one with the nose job. Do you have manners?" Yaru rubbed her nose. She was angry and her face was so pale when she stomped out. The female secretaries on the team laughed so hard that their heads were going back and forth. Yaru was very embarrassing to watch. When Melody went in, Melody thought Yaru still didn't give up, so he shouted, "Didn't I tell you to get the F out of here?" "Huh? Did I do anything wrong, President Cooper?" Melody heard a voice that wasn't Yaru's, so he looked up. When he saw Melody, he smiled and said, "It's you." "Yeah, I've come to get my reimbursements. What do you mean? Are you going to keep your promise?" "BS. Hand it over." Melody skipped over and passed the receipts to Melody. Melody barely looked at them and signed. "You're not reviewing it? Aren't you afraid I'll rip you off?" "You could. After all, you did get a runner-up award for me, so there's no problem if you rip me off," Justin teased. "Oh, so that means you're not happy that I didn't win a gold medal, eh?" Melody giggled and teased back. "Don't worry. Try harder next time. Oh, you can cook, right?" "Does stir-fried tomatoes and eggs count?" Melody asked back. "Fine, you win." "I'm serious. I can really cook stir-fried tomatoes and eggs. Why don't I make one for you now?" "Don't. I'm scared that I'll have diarrhea." "Ha ha." Melody laughed loudly, without any care of her image as an idol. "Melody, I think you'll be a great comedy actor. You know when to joke around. Why don't we alter your character?" "Sure, but I can't make jokes just by myself. If you're my partner, then I'll do it. We could do stand-up comedy together." Whatever. But seriously, can you cook?" "Yeah." "Okay, our company just got a new reality cooking show. Since you're a straight foodie and have high popularity ratings, we are thinking of choosing you to represent us." "Another reality TV show?" In all honesty, Melody would rather spend more effort doing drama than reality TV shows, even if drama was tougher. After all, what people saw on reality TV wasn't real at all. Everything was scripted. When the actors didn't act as planned, the directors would criticize them. "What? You don't want to go. Did you know that, Yaya?" When he was about to mention Yaru, he stuttered, making Melody laugh again. Yaru. Yes, Yaru came to recommend herself. Even with her IQ, she knew that this would be a popular show. Did you know that there's going to be a Best Actor winner as a guest? He hasn't been on TV shows for a few years now, but he has millions of fans, so this show for sure will be popular. He wanted Melody to take the show for her own benefit, but she didn't understand his intentions well. "So, President Cooper, you're giving me this great opportunity again. Are you really giving me lots of resources to support you?" "Did you think I was going to suppress you?" No, this is good. I'll continue to help President Cooper make lots of money." "I don't need that little money you can earn," Justin laughed. "President Cooper, just out of curiosity." "What?" "Last night, the girl that you went home with, the one on the news today, who is she?" Melody was slightly jealous but was afraid to directly ask Justin about the girl. Justin remained silent, scaring Melody to death. "To be honest, I don't know either." "You don't know and you brought her home? Can't I do a one-night stand?" Justin rolled his eyes. "Ha ha, I thought you didn't do one-night stands. Let's be real, President Cooper. Didn't bring that girl home and you're covering for him?" Melody let her imagination go wild and Justin didn't really know how to react to her. "Anne is lonely." "Don't ramble on about useless shit. Are you going to sign this cooking reality program or not?" "Sure, but is it paid?" Melody smirked. "All you think about is money, eh? Don't worry, I won't scam you out of a cent of the money that the television station pays us. I heard the first season is $1 million. Although it's not that much, you're still new, so what matters the most is exposure. Money is only a secondary reason. I'll have finance pay $1 million into your bank account. We'll pay your taxes. How about it?" "Wow, President Cooper, you're the best. I love you." When Melody said "I love you" to Justin, her heart pounded rapidly. She wanted to say her true thoughts out even if it was through a joke. She would never be able to say it seriously, because there was a risk she would never be able to chat comfortably with Justin if she did say it. As expected, Justin didn't take it seriously. He simply chuckled. "Okay, you can go now. I have a lot of work to do, so I don't have time to joke around with you. President Cooper, can I treat you and Anne for dinner tonight? You're that nice?" "Yeah, so I can repay how well my boss treats me and how much resources he spends to cultivate me," Melody said with anticipation. Sadly, Justin shook his head. "I can't tonight. How about another day?" "Why? Another date with a pretty girl?" Melody felt disappointed. "BS. I'm having dinner with Pudding and Little Bean tonight." Oh, the two little princesses. Melody's enthusiasm came back again once she heard Justin was meeting with Pudding and Little Bean. "I'll treat you and Anne another day then." "Okay. Thank you, President Cooper." "Thank what?" Justin wondered. "Thank you for always giving me opportunities." "Opportunities are left for prepared individuals. I believe you will do a good job." When Justin did this, he looked very much like what a boss should look like. A random blurb was very encouraging. Melody was in a very good mood when she walked out with the signed reimbursement form. She even hummed. Before she left, she flirted with Anne. "Anne, your hairstyle today looks really good on you." Anne touched his head. Without fully believing in Melody's compliment, he took out his phone and opened his front camera to see for himself. "Huh? It's the same hairstyle I've had for years," Anne mumbled. At GK's CEO's office, Mark saw that Jack was very tired recently, especially after he returned from his last trip. Jack seemed always concerned and tired, so Mark thought it was because there were too many meetings during the year-end. "President Dawson, you looked very tired. Should I cancel your afternoon meetings?" "No, you can go out now. I want some alone time." "Understood, President Dawson." Before Mark left, he carefully poured a glass of water for Jack. Jack held his forehead with both hands. He replayed the things that happened recently. He thought everything had gone back to normal. Justin and Chloe were now back. Andrew was dead. Although they lost their child, it wasn't Chloe's fault. However, why did Jack have such a terrifying feeling disturbing him? He only realized it today, that he felt repelled to Chloe. He was repelling the woman he loved to death now. Out of natural instinct, he didn't want to be close to her. Jack couldn't come up with a reason for all of this. It was very strange to him. It was 3 p.m., time when school ended. The twins walked out with their backpacks on their backs. "Dina, my family just built a new golf course. My dad asked me to invite my friends over to play. We have children's golf games. Do you want to come over and play this week?" My mom prepared a lot of cakes and chocolate. A handsome-looking boy stood in front of Pudding and said. He was taller than Pudding and Little Bean by a head's length. Pudding didn't say anything, so Little Bean pinched Pudding. After all, Little Bean was interested in the chocolate and cake, not necessarily golfing. "Sis, say something. He's talking to you," Little Bean mumbled. "Sorry, but I don't like golf," Pudding responded in an icy tone. "Oh, that's all right. We can do horse riding. We have a horse ranch, too." The boy did not give up and continued to try to invite Pudding over. "I don't like riding horses either. We have a hot spring." "What a coincidence. Our family has one, too. According to my information, our family's hot spring is the best one in all of the city and 6 northern provinces. It's on Yunding Mountain." Pudding did not cooperate at all. "My family? Whatever your family has, we have. Whatever your family doesn't have, we still have. Thank you for your invitation. Goodbye." Then, Pudding walked past him, completely ignoring him. The little boy looked very disappointed. Little Bean didn't forget to comfort him in a low voice. "Don't worry. You're not the first one to be rejected by my sister. You're the 6th person in this school to try to pursue her." Little Bean resisted the urge to laugh as she ran to catch up with her sister. "Sis, why'd you reject him? It's just going over to play. Isn't it all right to just be friends?" "Then you go." Little Bean couldn't rebut, so she decided to change the topic. "Sis, Daddy said he had a surprise for us this morning. Do you know what it is?" "I don't know." As the sisters chatted towards the entrance of the school, Little Bean immediately caught sight of Justin's car. "Wow, that's Handsome Cooper's car." Little Bean excitedly pointed at a parked car at the school's front entrance. It was the sharpest one, a bright orange Ferrari with a license plate of 6,666. That was Justin's high-profile style. When Pudding saw the car, her icy look turned warm as she smiled. The two little princesses ran over to Justin and hugged him. "Handsome Cooper, I missed you." "Handsome Cooper." Pudding didn't say "I miss you" because she was shy, even though she wanted to express it. Pudding wasn't as extroverted and expressive as Little Bean. Justin was wearing a light Burberry trench coat that looked rather thin. However, it matched well with the sports car. If someone didn't know better, they would think he was a famous star. The female teachers at the school and the passers-by all gathered around to watch. Some even took out their phone to take photos of him. Even Little Bean and Pudding's homeroom teacher took advantage of this opportunity to get near Justin. "Pudding, Little Bean, Uncle Cooper came to pick you guys up." "Miss," the children turned around and greeted her. Justin looked up at the female teacher who was dressed in a refined manner. She had glasses and a Rinka haircut. She looked pretty. "Hello, I'm Pudding and Little Bean's teacher. My name is Wen." "Hello, Miss Wen," Justin greeted. "The two children are very good in school." "Oh." Justin was slightly embarrassed as he wasn't their parent, so talking to their teacher about their performance was awkward. "Handsome Cooper, I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Miss, do you want to come?" Little Bean turned around to ask their homeroom teacher. The female teacher was excited, but before she could say yes, Little Bean then said, No, I forgot that my teacher might need to go on a date with her boyfriend. After all, you are already engaged. It might be inconvenient to go eat with Handsome Cooper. You won't be able to go eat with us, right, miss?" Little Bean's mockery made the female teacher embarrassed, but she needed to keep a smile on her face. "Yeah, I can't go. You two behave well now. Remember to listen to Uncle Cooper and don't be late for school tomorrow." "Miss, tomorrow is Saturday," Pudding reminded. "Heh, sorry about that. I even confused myself and forgot it was Saturday tomorrow. Have a good weekend." Then, the embarrassed female teacher ran off without staying a second more. The twins made fun of people without holding back. When they got in Justin's car, the twins sat together in the front seat with Justin as usual. When they were riding Justin's Ferrari back to the city center, Little Bean complained that she wanted to eat Japanese food. She had been saying she wanted Japanese food for days now on Snap. Justin reserved a high-end Japanese restaurant. When they got in, the server brought them to a 4-person private room, which was decorated in traditional decor and tatami. Justin sat on one side with the twins on the other. "I finally know why Handsome Cooper doesn't have a girlfriend," Little Bean suddenly teased. "Why?" Justin smiled at Little Bean. "All these years, the girls around you were pretentious batches. For instance, the female teacher you just saw. She's already engaged, but once she saw you, she flew over like a pesky fly over a rotten egg. Also, the tone she used in front of you was pretentious, not anything like her usual self. It's disgusting. If I were a guy, I wouldn't like those fake women who pretend to someone that they're not." "If you continue to be so mean to her, then wouldn't she not let you two wear shoes at school?" Justin teased. "That's impossible. She'd be thankful if we were nicer to her," Little Bean said confidently. "Handsome Cooper, did Daddy tell you to come pick us up? Daddy said there was going to be a surprise for us this morning." "The surprise turns out to be that you came back," Pudding said. Her mood was great and she spoke more than usual. "Yeah, I had a chat with your daddy on the phone. He's still working, so I came to pick you two up for some food first." "Handsome Cooper, did you know that while you were away these few days, we missed you so much? We talked about you every day." "Kiss ass. How trustworthy are your words?" Justin mocked. "You're mocking me again. I swear to God that I'm not lying. If I'm lying, then I'll get fat even if I don't eat cake next month." "Haha, very harsh. I believe you," Justin said happily. It might be that Justin was predestined to be so close with the twins, because whenever he saw them, all his troubles vanished. He thought it was a mystical experience. He truly believed he was a father figure to them and could do anything for them, no matter how annoying or how much money he would need to spend. He would happily do it all for them. "Pick what you want to eat now." Justin gave them the menu, like a father spoiling his children. Pudding then said to Little Bean, "Little Bean, go tell the server to get fresh hot drinks. Mommy said that it's winter, so we shouldn't drink cold drinks. It'll hurt our stomachs." What about corn juice? Little Bean happily got up. Sure, you can decide. When Little Bean went outside, Pudding looked at Justin and then slowly said, Handsome Cooper, when I heard you were kidnapped, I was worried to death. When I heard Mommy was going to save you, I could barely breathe. It's great that both of you returned safely, even if my little brother is dead. We don't regret it. If I were Mommy, I would do the same thing. Handsome Cooper, you're someone really, really special and important to us. Even if saving you meant losing my unborn little brother, it was worth it. Although saying these things is very selfish, it's my true thoughts. Justin did not expect Pudding to say this, and her words deeply shook him, and his eyes became watery. Pudding, I don't know how to respond to that. Justin tried hard to resist the urge of crying in front of a child, but Pudding was not an ordinary child. She was a very smart one. Handsome Cooper, I'm very glad you're back safe and sound. Thank you, Pudding. Justin could sense the desperation and love of Pudding through her eyes. Handsome Cooper, ever since Mommy and Daddy came back, it's been weird back home, but let's put that aside first. Can you tell me what happened to you guys that day? That day, Justin would rather run away than recall what happened that day, but since Pudding asked, he tried hard to recall. Suddenly, Little Bean came back into the room. Pudding immediately changed the topic. It was obvious that Pudding didn't want Little Bean to be involved in this. From her perspective, she wanted to protect her innocent little sister and let her live in a fairy tale world. Handsome Cooper, when do you have time to take us to Disneyland? Pudding changed the topic, and talking about Disneyland made Little Bean excited. Yeah, Handsome Cooper, you promised us you'd take us to Tokyo when you came back. Mommy also said that too. Yes. Even if you two little devils want to go to the South Pole to see penguins, I'll take you there. But we need to wait till I'm less busy. There's things I need to handle in the next couple of days. Okay, Pudding nodded. You promised, Little Bean said. Justin was able to feel free of worries when he was with the twins. He felt like he was the king of children. The waiter kept bringing dishes to them. The three of them had ordered a table full of food. Pudding and Little Bean ate happily. Justin drove them home and even had gifts ready for them. I asked a friend to get this from Europe because it's Christmas soon. Wow, presents! I'm so happy. Thank you, Handsome Cooper. When Pudding and Little Bean took over the presents, they immediately opened it. It was 2 classic Disney backpacks, but not Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Instead, it was Judy and Nick, the rabbit and fox from Zootopia. The backpacks were very cute and of high quality. Justin used to think that price determined the quality of things, so good things were pricey. However, during a conversation with Chloe one time, she told him that she didn't want the children to be so materialistic at such a young age. She didn't want them to only use luxury goods, so she hoped that when Justin gave presents, he wouldn't spend so much. What was most important was the thought behind the presents. After some thought, Justin thought Chloe was right, so he bought these 2 backpacks this time. Together, they weren't even $100. Just like Chloe said, the twins were still happy despite the low cost of the presents. What was important wasn't the monetary value of the gifts, but Justin's thought for them. Little Bean knew how to make people happy. She ran towards Justin and kissed him, leaving his cheek all wet. Do you want a kiss? Justin said to Pudding. Pudding turned around to Little Bean and said, Go in first. I have something to say to Handsome Cooper. Don't talk behind my back, Dina. Don't worry, you're not worth me gossiping about. Little Bean then went inside. Justin felt that Pudding was acting very strange today. There seemed to be something she desperately needed to talk to him about and alone. Handsome Cooper, ever since Mommy came back, she's been... Pudding's voice was low, but before she could finish, the door opened. Chloe came out wearing a purple mink coat with a big smile on her face. Why don't you come in now that you're here? Chloe. Justin felt confused again once he saw Chloe. He didn't know whether the feeling was guilt or joy. Also, when Pudding saw her, she didn't continue to speak what she wanted to say. Mommy! Pudding looked up and greeted her. My good baby girl! Chloe reached out to touch Pudding's face. When her long nails glided on Pudding's face, Pudding felt a cold shiver. Only then did she realize that Chloe had suddenly began keeping long nails. When Chloe was working in the hospital, she was very aware of personal hygiene. Since she often performed surgeries, she never kept long nails, so she would cut them once a week. It seemed like after she came back this time, she had never cut her nails, and now they were so long that they were terrifying. When her nails glided on Pudding's face, Pudding felt that her skin was pierced, and it hurt slightly. "You're here already. Why don't you come in and have some tea?" Chloe smiled as she invited Justin. "It's good. I have work to do. How are you feeling?" "I'm all right. I'll come visit you another day." "Sure. See you." After politely saying goodbye to Justin, Chloe walked towards Pudding. She looked down at Pudding and asked her with curiosity, "Pudding, what are you thinking about?" "Mommy, why are you wearing this?" "Why? Don't you think purple is very pretty?" "But didn't you say you refuse to wear mink because it's cruel to kill animals?" Chloe smiled and said, "I didn't buy this. I don't know which relative bought it for me for my last birthday. Your grandma told me that it's just been sitting there in the closet. It's getting cold and I'm not feeling that well. I'm just going to wear it for now." "Oh." Pudding didn't speak much more. Instead, she looked down as if she were pondering something. When Pudding went inside, she went to wash her hands with Little Bean to have dinner. Meanwhile, Chloe sat by the burning fireplace still, as if she was thinking about something, but no one could really tell what. Jack's parents were going out with old friends to a charity event and weren't home yet. Apparently, it was a charity event for deaf and mute kids. That was why there were only the servants and the twins at home. Uncle George, "Yes, ma'am. Pour me a glass of wine." "But ma'am, your health condition?" "It's all right. I can have a little. I want red wine." "Yes, ma'am. Please wait 1 sec." Since Uncle George couldn't convince Chloe, he had someone go to the wine cellar to get red wine. Chloe looked at the twins and thought they were annoying. This was what was going on in Chloe's head. That older one seems smart. Does she know something? Let's keep this going for a bit longer and see. As soon as I sleep with Jack, I win. On her face, however, was a sweet smile. She looked lovingly at the twins. On the other side of the world, across the ocean, was the pregnant Chloe. She was in a very artistic place, a round glass room under the sea. With the lights illuminating the glass room, she could see all sorts of fish around. It was a magnificent sight, much prettier than any aquariums she had ever been to. "Miss Chloe, here is your dinner." A maid called Messiah, and 2 younger maids came into the room to take care of Chloe. They had brought in expensive food like lobster, abalone, crab, shrimp as big as one's palm, and much more. "It's okay if you want to eat less seafood. We have made you bird's nest soup, and you should drink it while it's hot." "Messiah, I want to see your master and talk to her," Chloe said calmly. "Miss Chloe, you should make sure you're healthy and sleeping well," Messiah said, as she seemed like she couldn't fulfill Chloe's demands. "Messiah, my patience is running out. I know you guys didn't bring me here to feed me well, right? Please let me talk to her. I want to know what she wants." "Miss Chloe, she doesn't want to harm you. It's too dangerous outside. Only by staying here will your child be able to come to this world safely. I do not believe in your people." "Messiah, tell her that if she doesn't see me, I'll go on a hunger strike. What you will see is a dead body of me." Chloe hated herself right now, because all she could do was threaten others using her own life. She looked down upon herself a lot right now, but her words were effective to Messiah. Messiah looked sadly at Chloe and said, "Miss Chloe, how about this? Please eat this meal and the bird's nest, and I'll deliver your message." Chloe saw that Messiah compromised, so she didn't continue to further demand more. Instead, she ate as Messiah had told her to. Something seemed strange to Chloe. The set of utensils that could test poison she brought with her was still here. She would use it to test out the food every time before eating because she didn't trust these people. Although she was not in the mood of eating and thus couldn't enjoy the food, she did eat till she was full because the child inside her needed nutrition, and she would be able to please the maids so they would help her deliver the message. Just as Chloe expected, Messiah nodded with satisfaction when she saw Chloe finish the food. Then she left, leaving the 2 younger maids in the room to watch Chloe. Chloe only had a small bag with her. Inside were all sorts of poisons, anesthetics, and explosives. The bomb set earlier was incredibly strong, but she was not left with much explosives. She didn't dare to use it recklessly because she didn't know what these people were after. 10 minutes later, Messiah came back. She looked at Chloe with a gentle smile and said, "Miss Chloe, come with me. Master has agreed to see you." "Okay." Chloe felt better now that she heard that the maid's master was willing to see her. At least she now had the chance to know who she was facing, which would help solve her questions. Chloe followed Messiah through a long undersea tunnel. It was winding and had many twists and turns, like a confusing maze. The decorations around all looked similar, but different. Chloe felt her head go dizzy. She was a genius, but even she couldn't understand why there would be such a strange and spectacular place in this world. Finally, at the end of the Dragon Palace was a mysterious and glorious temple. If Chloe had to describe the decoration on the temple, she would say that it was like the East Ocean Palace in the classic tale, The Journey to the West. The temple was a glorious undersea spectacle. There were crystals, amber, and glass everywhere. It looked so luxurious that one could not open their eyes wide when looking at it. Chloe sensed that inside the grand temple was a person sitting in a big chair. She was still far from that person, so she couldn't tell if the person was male or female. Messiah suddenly stopped and said, "Miss Chloe, you can go in. All the best." Then, Messiah turned around and left. Chloe, on the other hand, walked in hesitantly. She was getting closer and closer to the mysterious figure. Her heart pounded faster and faster with each step. At the headquarters of the GK Corporation. After Jack got off work, he exited the building and saw Rick waiting for him in his black Palomera. Jack took off his coat, opened the car door, and got onto the car. "Where do you want a drink?" "Wherever is fine with me." Jack wasn't in a great mood, as he sounded quite down. Rick had known him for years and knew what he was like. Seeing the situation made him drive away without asking any questions. 20 minutes later, the two arrived at a small bar inside a development zone near the East End. The name of the bar was Old Captain. The logo was a Caribbean pirate, and there was an atmospheric pirate captain statue by the entrance. There weren't many people inside, only a few tables were occupied, and there was an indie rock singer on stage. The two entered and chose an empty corner to sit down at. "Good afternoon, gentlemen. What would you like to order?" the waiter asked. Rick looked at Jack. "Whatever," Jack said, expressionless. "Give him a bottle of whatever," Rick said. The waiter was silent, since he was confused by what the two patrons were playing at. 2 packs of Budweiser, Jack finally ordered. He was bored of wine. He ordered the most basic beer, so their statuses as billionaires were unknown. "Okay, please give us a second." It wasn't long before beer and some complimentary snacks were delivered. Rick swiftly opened 2 cans of beer and clinked it against Jack's. "Let's chug these. You don't look well tonight." Without speaking, Jack and Rick chugged their beers within 5 seconds. Their lung capacities were undefeatable. "You haven't seemed like yourself since you came back from Yunnan," Rick started the conversation. It was quite difficult considering how silent he was. "Fiona is missing," Jack said. "There's been rumors that Legend and Nalo kidnapped Fiona amidst the chaos. It hasn't been confirmed yet, so everyone is just speculating." "Do you think they did it?" Jack asked Rick. "Not sure. It is possible." Jack lowered his head and remained silent. "Jack, is it because you lost your child, so—" "That's not the main reason," Jack replied. "I know it's hard for you. It's hard for me to hear, too. But we have to accept the truth, no matter how cruel it is. Cece and Chloe were at similar stages in pregnancy, and she wanted to visit Chloe, but I didn't want Cece to trigger her. After all, it must be devastating for both of you." "Rick, you don't understand. The baby isn't the issue. Between us, even if Chloe never bears my child, I would love her still the same. But now—" "Now what? You don't love her anymore?" Rick felt the hidden meaning in Jack's words. Jack shook his head. Without words, he opened a second can of beer and downed it faster than the first. "Rick, I keep on getting the feeling that something isn't quite right." "What isn't right?" Rick looked puzzled. "I don't know. I can't describe it. I just have the intuition that something is wrong, And that's a terrible feeling, you know? Jack's expression looked distressed. He only showed this type of anxiety in front of Rick. Noah had been busy lately, as cases of child disappearances were popping up and they were overwhelming him. So, he didn't get the chance to have a heart-to-heart with Jack yet. Jack, is the trauma causing it to relapse? Rick meant the paranoid personality disorder that Jack had while he was in America. No, I haven't gotten it since. Really? It's unrelated. I feel like it has been too easy. Rick was a little taken aback. Easy? You guys blew up Andrew and the other bad guys. Even though you lost your baby, it was the best-case scenario considering Chloe and Justin returned safely. But those bad guys, are they really dead? If they died so easily, my father-in-law wouldn't have made me and Fiona turn back. You mean, there are still some of them left alive? Maybe they took Fiona? Rick's brain spun quick and realized it immediately. Not sure, it's just a gut feeling. I've been investigating too. I hope I'll get proof. Okay, Jack, just be careful. Come, let's keep drinking. Rick knew Jack was always a cautious person, so it was normal for him to have such worries. Tonight was him letting Jack get it off his chest. At least that could resolve his temporary distress. That night, Jack drank quite a lot, but not too much. It was 3:30 in the morning when he got home. It was Jack's chauffeur that drove the two drunks home. When Rick got home, Cece was still awake. Cece normally lived with her parents, but when Rick was in the city, the couple lived in a luxury apartment downtown gifted to them by Jack. It was one of GK's properties, with 1 square meter costing up to $80,000. The apartment was 160 square meters and came furnished with luxurious furniture. Cece wanted to await delivery in the country, so Rick, Cece, their housekeeper, and bodyguard all lived there. Right as Rick came in, Cece jumped into his embrace. "You're back so late?" I was drinking with Jack. Rick's breath reeked like alcohol and made Cece dizzy. "You don't say, what? You don't like me?" "I have your child. How could I not like you? Don't fool around like that." Smiling, Cece helped Rick take off his jacket and poured him a glass of water. "Sit down. Don't run around with your big belly." Rick didn't want Cece to do housework, so he grabbed her and pulled her into his embrace. Cece's face immediately turned red. Normally, Rick didn't know how to flirt. He rarely showed affection physically throughout their relationship. But today, maybe it was the alcohol that was giving him the guts. "Rick, are you okay?" "Nothing. I'm just lamenting." Lamenting on what? Cece raised her head and looked at Rick's handsome face in a daze. Jack and Chloe are so in love, and they've been through so much together. It's easy to fall in love, but it's hard to stay with each other. I'm realizing how much difficulty came with everything we have. Yeah, I think so too. I just hope that our little baby comes out safely and grows up healthily. Cece caressed her round belly and leaned against Rick's chest. Too bad they lost their child, otherwise you two would be in the hospital together. Yeah, I counted down the days. There are only 12 days left. It's really cruel. I'm not brave enough to visit Chloe and comfort her. Thinking of Chloe and Jack's lost child made Cece's eyes red at South Hill Manor. "Sweetie, you're home?" When Jack came back in the middle of the night, he was going to go into the study. That was when he realized that Chloe was sitting in the study in silence. Her sudden voice made Jack feel that something was extremely eerie. "Chloe, why aren't you asleep? Look at the time." Jack lowered his head and looked at his watch. He felt that it was strange that Chloe was in the study at this time. "I was waiting for you. I couldn't sleep without you here." After Chloe said that, she rose and approached him. She slowly walked towards Jack in her white cotton pajamas. "Sweetie, you seem to have been avoiding me lately." "Don't say that. I'm worried that you're injured and need time to recover. I don't want to bother you." "Why don't you hug me while we sleep? You used to do that." Chloe's innocent eyes questioned Jack and made him feel guilty. I've been losing sleep lately. I was afraid of waking you up." "We're husband and wife. We have to face everything together, no?" "Yes, Chloe, you're right. Then come back to bed with me and hug me until I fall asleep." Chloe began flirting, slowly leaning her head against Jack's chest. At that instant, Jack had an instinct to push her away. That feeling scared him. "Daddy, Mommy, What's wrong, Pudding? Jack and Chloe suddenly turned around, and Chloe didn't get the chance to approach Jack. Little Bean peed the bed. Our blanket is wet. It feels gross. Can you change it for us? Chloe was speechless. Jack said, "Okay, Daddy will be right there." After, Jack walked towards the children's bedroom. Chloe followed behind Jack. When she passed Pudding, she looked down on her. Pudding didn't raise her head, but she could feel the gaze on her. "Mommy, I'm so sorry. Please don't blame Little Bean. I was the one who asked to drink passion fruit juice, so Grandma made us a lot. I went to the bathroom before bed, but Little Bean was being too playful and refused to go, so—" "It's okay, you're still kids. Mommy doesn't blame you." Chloe dragged her long nails against Pudding's face again, invoking that creepy feeling. Pudding was frightened. She ran after her daddy. The couple changed the sheets for the two children, and Jack was holding the sleeping Little Bean. Chloe thought that it was a done deal after changing the sheets. However, Pudding held Jack's hand and said, "Daddy, I had a nightmare. I'm scared. Can you stay?" "Pudding, Daddy's tired from work. Mommy will stay with you, okay?" "Mommy, Daddy said you're still recovering. You can't be in the cold. I don't want you to feel sick." "Yeah, Chloe, the room is on AC. You can't take it. Go back and I'll stay with her for a while." "Okay, I'll get going." When Chloe left, she wasn't quite willing, as she turned her head often. She saw Jack gently put Little Bean on the bed. Then, he patted Pudding with his hand. He was a model father. He was always patient to his children. However, was it impossible to sleep with Jack? Not even that? Couldn't she even be intimate with him? She didn't believe that it was so difficult. Or did they realize something? That night, everybody at South Hill Manor had their own thoughts. The next morning, at the breakfast table, Little Bean said in a mysterious tone, "Grandma, Grandpa, Daddy, Mommy, Sissy, did you know? There are vampires in our city?" "Who lied to you? You believe that?" Her grandpa smiled. "Really, Grandpa, I'm not lying. Uncle Noah has been investigating this recently. Ethan told me it's real and not a joke." "Oh, really? Ethan told you?" Her grandpa seemed doubtful. "Yep." "Baby Bean, when did you start having such serious talks with Ethan?" Grandpa Dawson teased his granddaughter. Not really. It just came up in a casual conversation. Ethan told me that the city isn't safe and that we shouldn't wander around. Let's see if Handsome Cooper will be less busy next week. If he is, we'll go to Disneyland in Tokyo. The family didn't take the child's words seriously. Chloe didn't act unnaturally. She never really cared about such a small issue anyways. However, at breakfast, she clearly didn't eat as much as before. "Chloe, do you not like the food?" Jack's mother felt pity for her daughter-in-law. "No, Mother." "Why aren't you eating as much as before? Your appetite clearly decreased. You can't keep doing this. You just had a miscarriage and your body is damaged. You need to make up for it." "I know. Don't worry, Mother. I'm taking it slow." Facing everybody's concern, Chloe felt natural. At breakfast, Chloe got into Jack's car. "Sweetie, I'm going to go with you to the company in the morning. In the afternoon, I'm going to go to the first hospital and get some medication." "Okay." Jack nodded without speaking much. The two went to GK together. Jack spoke even less than before. The couple didn't really talk in the car. At GK, Jack started working immediately while Mark poured Chloe a glass of hot milk. "What is this?" "Young madam, your hot milk." "I don't want it. Take it away." Layla didn't like the taste of milk, especially fresh milk. She seemed to dislike the scent. She covered her nose and made Mark take it away. Mark looked puzzled. "Young madam, you always drank hot milk." She finally realized and explained, "After getting sick, my taste changed. Don't bring me milk anymore." "Oh, okay." Mark nodded, agreeing with the young madam's command. "Young madam, what would you like instead?" "Nothing. Go do your work." "Yes." After Mark left, Chloe lounged on the sofa and flipped through magazines. She found it boring and threw it away. Stella knocked at that moment. "Come in." "Chloe, I've been wanting to visit you, but I was scared of disturbing you. I came right away when I heard President Dawson mention that you're here." When Stella came home, she heard from Chloe's mother that Chloe lost her child. She felt devastated. Thomas was on a business trip right now, and if he knew, he would have been back long ago. After Stella said that, her eyes teared up. Chloe tilted her head, looked at her, and searched her brain for a few seconds. Then she smiled and said, "Stella, come sit." Holding back tears, Stella came and sat next to Chloe. Then she looked at her flat stomach. "Chloe, you've been through a lot. You should be at home resting, not here at the company." "I've mostly recovered." "I heard that induced labor is more painful than childbirth, and it leaves horrible marks on your stomach. That's why I'm scared of having children. Is it the same for you?" After Stella said that, she looked at Chloe's stomach. After hearing Stella's words, Huo Mian cautiously pulled her shirt down, not showing any skin. Thanks for tuning in to the Cool Audio Podcast. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow story lover. Until next time, stay cool and keep listening.